How Long Gone is here. What's up, guys? I'm Jason. That's Chris Black. I'm in LA, and he's, I don't know where, America's Heartland or whatever.
No.
Shout out to all the Arsenal fans. Shout out to all the Man City fans up early with us this morning.
No, I'm coming to you not from America's Heartland, but from America's #1 tax shelter, the home of President Sleepy Joe Biden, beautiful Wilmington, Delaware. A place that I've never been before, but many of our favorite American corporations, banks, investment opportunities, and the DuPont family have chose to reside here because of its tax status.
Okay, and that's why Biden was born there. He knew, he had the presence of mind.
Yeah,
He's like, we need food, water, and shelter, and he...
exactly. The only kind of shelter I'm looking for is a tax one at this stage. But yeah, but Delaware, I have to say, never been here before.
Tiny little state, isn't it?
Absolutely beautiful. Honestly,
It's the Audi TT of states.
It is. We're staying in a beautiful, tiny 15-room hotel called the Fairville Inn over here.
Love that AI-generated hotel name.
It's like, well, no, because if you drive 5 minutes either way, you're in a different state. So like you're in Delaware, then you're in Pennsylvania, then you're in damn New Jersey.
I could not imagine that.
Yeah.
The next closest state from my house will take a fortnight.
No, I know. So it was of course a journey to get here. I had to fly into the disgusting Philadelphia airport, one of the worst airports in America. And we had another rental car snafu, much like the original. So basically, what I've learned, and I'm sure the listeners will agree, especially the ones that are on the East Coast of the United States, that traveling on the weekends during football season is something that maybe you shouldn't do. Yesterday on the flight from Atlanta to Philadelphia, I would say more than half of the flight was wearing Eagles merchandise. Ooh. And at one point, a large lesbian woman boarded the plane, and her and her partner, as they were boarding, were yelling loudly about how Philadelphia was going to win and making fun of the people dressed in the opponent's merchandise. Like loud enough where people thought it was like funny and like engaging with each other and talking about right. specific players. And obviously that's my personal hell.
So it had like the energy of like a tailgate party, rival schools battling out together. But this is just Sunday people trying to fly to their house. And now it's turned into sort of like a jail-like scenario.
My blood was boiling. Luckily, I was able to let it go. And then, of course, the people in front of us were talking the entire flight about the Auburn game as well. And the woman who was, too excited, I would say, she was basically jumping up and down in her seat at every play, which was kind of hard. It's been a tough...
Like the way, like when you put the iPad in front of your 2-year-old and then they get to watch the show that they want. That's kind of the happy dance that they do, a series of grunts and things like that.
Yeah. A lot of upper body movement while the lower body is secured to the Delta seat with the seat belt.
Yeah. just like baby in the little stroller.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
He's loving it. He's having a good time, but don't worry, he won't go anywhere. He's
not going to fall over. He's going to be fine.
Okay, so I think we have maybe invented your next career path, Chris, and I think necessity is the mother of invention, and mother I've just invented. You love travel and flights, airlines, all that stuff, right?
I liked it more 2 years ago, but yeah, I like it.
Right. So you've noticed that maybe the airline industry needs a change? I don't want to use the word disruption. I don't like the D word, but I might have to throw it out.
I mean, it feels like they are ripe for that.
Okay. So we need to maybe re-democratize flight. Flight has turned into... It's too Republican. It's gone too red. So we need to create a liberal and gay-friendly airline, and you're just the person to do it.
This is not a bad idea.
Somebody who is a fake liberal and a fake gay person.
Exactly.
This is so perfect for you. I mean, basically just there's no sports. There's no... So like when you go to the club and it's like no jerseys, no team stuff, no flip-flops, no tank tops. There's no beer.
I would say collared shirts for men, mandatory.
Okay.
No flip-flops, no athletic gear, no hats, no going to the bathroom with socks on. If you use a device of any kind without headphones, you're removed from the plane, even if we're in flight. So you kind of just have to jump.
So
we'll give you a parachute, but it's on you.
If you get caught using the JBL or the Beats pill, here's your parachute.
Yeah.
We wish you the best of luck over New Jersey.
But also the entertainment no
oh, the entertainment is where we come alive. It's Sex in the City.
only.
It's Crazy Rich Asians, available in every language.
What if it's just a Sex in the City channel where you can kind of there's everything is available, every season, every movie, even the DVD extras.
Yeah, you want to do Sudoku? It's all Sex in the City themed.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Wordle is hosted by Jonathan from Queer Eye.
This is a good idea. So I think that, like, not a gay airline, but just an airline.
It's an airline for civilized people.
Yes.
But it does lean a little gay.
Yeah, and I think the beverage selection could be a little higher end, of course. There could be, let's bring it back to the old days of flying where people got dressed up, where maybe you could get a martini in first class shaken in a proper glass. I would like my coffee to be at least fourth wave or better. I don't want any more of this this Starbucks Keurig crap, kind of polluting my gullet.
And oddly enough, nothing gayer than a John and Vinny's sugar cookie.
That's true.
But we are going to have to remove that.
That's unfortunately, yeah. And I think all this.
Now that I think of it,
all the snacks must be low calorie, organic, of course, locally sourced. And I think that a partnership with maybe like a high end but small local grocer could kind of help that, get us a better deal. And then also the flight attendants and pilots all have to be New York 8s or above.
New York 8s, of course, Tom Brown does the outfitting for our flight attendants.
No question. Yeah, no question.
No, this is, and I think, because I don't want to discriminate to any other people. If you're a sports fan who's straight and none of this sounds good to you, you can still buy a ticket and come on the plane. You just have to abide by the rules.
Yeah, of course.
You might, when you try these red bottoms on, you might like how they feel, sir.
And if you do try to board the plane, with an Arizona Cardinals t-shirt on, you will be tackled and kind of removed like by the ATF, the way that an unruly passenger would be. Because the rules are clearly stated on the website, obviously in the terms and conditions. If you kind of read the fine print, it's very clear who can board and who can't. And I just want to make that abundantly.
We won't ask you to leave. You will be lefted.
The
same way that Epstein was suicided, you will be
exactly
lefted.
But I think that also,
we're still working on some of that branding.
Delta's done a pretty good job with their apothecary program. It's fine. It's better than you expect. But I think we could work much like a high-end hotel. We could work with a partner, get an exclusive, kind of Chris Black Airlines scent program. Because obviously the first, this is an international airline, Jason, and the kind of amenity kit you receive when you're flying first class, an overnight long haul, transatlantic, would have to be only the finest products. Like I don't.
No, my last flight when I came back from Italy, we had the Ferragamo fair trade leather sack with the Marvis toothpaste inside. It was a nice touch.
Yeah, we need Marvis. The toothbrush.
But we have to do better.
Well, the toothbrush is going to be plastic, non-biodegradable, first and foremost. That's another thing about this era. It is kind of financially insensitive, but it's also not participating in this kind of sustainability trend.
At Chris Air, sustainability is not at the forefront of our priorities.
No, I mean, we're going to recycle and shit, but I'm not going to give you bad product just because it's sustainable. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to sacrifice quality.
You're not going to prioritize.
No.
If it gets in the way of quality.
The plate is going to be fine china, and it is going to be, it's not going to be bamboo. That's what I'm saying, and I think that the other thing on Chris Air, absolutely no hot food is served, no matter how long the flight is, because the smell is so atrocious and offensive to the noses of all these like fine, high-paying customers.
Okay,
so we're gonna outlaw all hot food.
No hot foods. When you sit in, is there coach, or is it all? Like when you go to a restaurant,
no.
Specials, everything on the menu is special, honey.
You know how I love a class system, Jason. So
you love a class system, okay?
No. I think it'll just be a class, but I would prefer none of that middle ground that we're suffering with now, where you're paying a premium for a middling experience. We're going first class coach, no in between, no comfort plus.
We're gonna have comfort or plus, not both.
Yes, exactly. Because I think the comfort plus tier, which has been developed for basically exactly you and I, upper middle class people who want first class all the time, but know that it's irresponsible to spend that kind of money.
It's the Volkswagen Passat of seats.
Yeah, it's fake it's fake luxury.
How is it? It's fine. It's fine.
Exactly. It's all Chris Air is going to outlaw faux luxury. We're giving you only the hard, real shit, uncut.
And I think that because of that, removing the Comfort Plus, removing the business, it's either a 5-gallon bucket or a pod. That's all we're going to give you. And I think we get to pass on that savings to both parties in our class system.
100%. And I would also like to,
everyone wins.
I would also like to discuss kind of the bathroom arrangement.
Oh, okay. The arrangement.
And I hate to do this, but it's going to be urinals only.
There's Larry David style.
You can't give a man an opportunity to do business of that sort on the plane, and the only way to do that, but that does obviously complicate things for our female passengers, and that's something we're going to kind of figure out with the board before we launch.
I think Larry had it figured out where it's the urinals. If a person who identifies as a squat pisser wants to use it, there's sort of like some guardrails that come down, like when you're riding a ride at Six Flags or Great America or whatever. It comes down, gives you something to grab onto as you sort of straddle that urinal, Bill Murray style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. That's a good fix. I think all in all, this is coming together. And I also kind of want to get back to like back in the day when you would fly Virgin to London, upper class at Virgin had like a proper bar with stools that you could sit in. That we're going to reintroduce that, and there's going to be kind of a Tom Cruise style bartender.
Oh, cocktail. So the Virgin America or the Virgin Atlantic, the bar was giving a little too much Austin Powers.
Very too much.
Which is cute for 2003, but we need to move on from that.
We're moving on.
And we need to get into more of a mixology. But back when mixology was just what pairs well with cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. So
and not like I've been pickling my rosemary all winter and I want to try it out on this old fashioned.
Also, if you read the fine print, all drugs are legal on Chris Air, and because we're kind of look, if you can get them on, we're gonna let you do them. That's kind of our rule. If you can get, because if you're in the air, anything goes. So my thought is, if you can get them through security, that's on you. But once you're on Chris Air, I want you to be yourself. If you guys need to have sex in the bathroom, that's fine. Need to do some coke, that's fine.
I want you to be yourself. I identify as a fentanyl addict. All right, do you, player?
I don't want you to smoke necessarily because that could, but vaping is fine. Edibles, of course, are acceptable. And
wow.
Cocaine, heroin, pills, those are quiet drugs.
My constituents did not expect you to say vaping was fine. This is a new regime. I like this.
I'm ready to take this business plan to the top. And I think, Richard Branson's on his island, kind of letting Virgin flail. And I think there is kind of a place for a smaller, we love JSX. I can't wait to take it to San Francisco. I love that idea, but we need something bigger. We need something for the mass. Much like this podcast, we're for a large audience, and I want to be competing with Delta and American and United and some of these big dogs, because I think that there is kind of a hole in the marketplace. I think we've once again at How Long Gone identified a gaping hole in the marketplace, and Chris Air is ready to take flight.
That gape. Yeah, and we don't want to discriminate and alienate lesser thans. All we want to do is show them an example of how it could be.
Exactly.
If with just a few little tweaks, we could all be doing better. Be better.
No, I think this is necessary and nice, and I think this could be not only a money-making venture for us, but I also think a kind of a statement politically, Jason. And we're living in a divisive society. These rednecks, they don't have a tough time telling us to fuck off. So I'm telling them to fuck off by creating something nicer that they can't afford, but they also don't want to afford. And that's kind of the beauty of this whole thing.
We're gonna have our Evian Mist in first class.
Oh yeah,
and they're gonna be what's in that? It's just water.
It's just water.
And they're like, that's dumb. And you're like, but you want it, don't you? And they're like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, them jeans, I want it back.
Exactly. And of course, all music on the flights, pre and post, is curated by DJ Them Jeans. And I will say that if weight will allow it, we could have a piano player in first class, kind of like all these hot bars in New York. You know what I mean? We could just add a piano player, kind of playing some standards up there before boarding. Maybe you could wheel it off before we take off.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, for our Chris Black Blue Eye flights, anything that leaves wheels up pre 6 a.m., I bet you that piano player is just playing a nice whisper quiet version of Coldplay's Yellow.
You know, it's going to be, and I think that's what we're going to do actually as well. This is another great idea, is that the Blue Eye flights, which Jason has kindly branded for me, the Chris Black Blue Eye is a pre-6 a.m. Wheels Up. We're going to make those cheap like Red Eyes. Red Eyes are going to be double the price of the Blue Eye.
It's the carrot dangling. You know, you want a nice affordable flight as an entrepreneur, but you aren't allowed to board your Blue Eye unless you can prove that you have done a workout that day.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, you will have to have an Apple Watch to kind of do that, and that's kind of something I'm trying to work through with the marketing team. But also no seat belts on this plane, because we all know that's fake. Like, we all know that's fake.
Belts.
If this plane is crashing, that little bitch seatbelt is not going to save anybody's life. So let's just forget it.
Yeah.
You know, let's just forget it.
When they dug up the rubble over at the Pentagon on Flight 93, what do you think they found? A bunch of people.
They didn't find shit.
They didn't find shit.
And if you think that, you know, if you think that you're going to sit in the exit row and get a speech, you're not. We're going to just let you sit there. I don't give a shit. I ain't going to tell you. You're not going to have to verbally confirm anything to me. I don't give two shits what you can do or can't do.
Do you know how to open a door? All right, you're hired. Let's do it.
Because look, no one cares about their fellow passengers. Let's make it very clear. Airlines are the final frontier. It's a battle royale of selfishness. Everyone is out for themselves. They want to get to the place they're going as fast as possible with the least amount of resistance as possible. And if the plane's going down, I'm calling my loved one or trying to have intercourse. I am not trying to save a life of the guy in the fucking Cardinals jersey next to me. That's my whole point.
This has given me an idea. Speaking of the Cardinals, and you know, we started Chris Air as a way to sort of move away from the sports types, but I think it would be a nice little twist on that, where we create a sports style penalty box for people. If you have violated any of our terms of service, you will be placed in sort of a clear, silent lucite cage.
Okay.
Kind of, you know, Dahmer style, Silence of the Lambs kind of vibe, where the entire plane can, you know, on the channel, on the TV section, you can get a feed of it. You can ask him questions. You can hit a button and it throws him a treat, like the little doggy things.
That's a good idea. This is a good idea.
You know, so if the guy, you know, if you've wet yourself or something like that because you had too many bloodies or whatever, or too many #day beers at Terminal 4, you're in the tank and you're being publicly berated. You know, it's like a digital tar and feathering, if you will.
Yeah, this is a great idea, because I think also even just taking away the entertainment is such a low blow to people. Like if I put a lucite cage over your seat and your TV stop.
We're taking away screen time.
If we take away, bro, if you take away screen, children, when it comes to screen time, just children and adults are the same. Like, you see, look, we've all seen the guy board a plane with nothing. The guy that sits down, he's got nothing. He's got no headphones, no bag. He might not even have a phone, honestly. And he just sits and stares at the seat in front of him. And this is usually a guy that's traveling for some sort of like construction work or something.
He might read the back of the barf bag.
Yeah,
he never, the thought of bringing any type of entertainment, you know, a book, a magazine, let alone a TV or computer or any work it never crossed his mind. Just more than happy to sit there in pure silence.
It gives a serial killer energy, of course, but I think it might be someone.
They are a threat to the vibes.
Yeah, but they also feel elevated. They also feel like, wow, I don't need your little bullshit. I don't need your bad shows.
Okay, if you're one of those people that comes on with nothing, then the same way where we have to verify that you've done a workout that day in order to get a discount on the Blue Eye flight, you have to verify somehow that you are some type of like Wim Hof, or like weird, you know, like that. There's a reason why you're being so zen and calm and quiet.
If you can hold your breath on the entire flight from Los Angeles to San Francisco, you know what? I'll give you the ticket for free.
And that's a guarantee.
That's a guarantee. And I don't want you to die trying, but there are people that practice this stuff. You know what I mean? So they probably they're going to know if they can do it.
I'm doing Vegas to Albuquerque. Challenge accepted. Let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen?
Chris Air coming 2025. But you had a big day in Beverly Hills yesterday, which I just need to hear about just to whet my whistle as I return to LA. I'm missing the glamour. And by glamour, I mean guys on scooters stealing your purse, but let's hear what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, within 5 minutes, my Audemars had been taken at lunch, and that was tough. I just read about it on the news, but I didn't think it could ever happen to me. But yeah, it will happen to you. No, we went over to go browse some wedding bands over at Cartier, and
So so 21 Pilots I know is number one for you guys, but is there other? I'm sorry, Imagine Dragons is NA, but we're looking at some other options.
yeah, I gotta say the experience between Cartier and Tiffany, Cartier was much better.
I mean, Tiffany has turned into streetwear, unfortunately, so that is part of the issue.
Yeah, the vibe was weird. The vibe was at Tiffany. Like the only person that was sort of like a normal human being was the security guard, who is like in charge of making sure, like the security guards in Beverly Hills are more on alert than the ones working at Homeboy Industries downtown or whatever. Like the vibe is kind of tense over there on a weekend. Every single store has like serious security.
Shopping is hell now. It's just like there's security, there's lines.
We went to a watch store that did like Pateks and Rolexes, and the display cases were just all empty.
Yeah.
They're like, if you want something, you have to like get it from the back. Like, we wouldn't fucking put a watch out. Are you crazy?
It's like travel. It's just like, is this worth it anymore? I mean, like, obviously there's great store experiences, but all those stores, all the designer stores, like even at the mall in Atlanta, it's like they just make people wait in line. And when you walk in, like I walk into Prada and they assign me like a salesperson who follows me around while I'm browsing. I'm like, bro, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm just like, what is it? Like, I mean, I guess they have to do that with everyone because anybody could be a thief. But it's so your experience wasn't great, but did you at least get to have a bite, and check out the neighborhood?
Yeah, luckily, right next door to Cartier, or I guess right around the corner, was the Erewhon location, which was sort of, I mean, we've been to Erewhon a zillion times, multiple locations across the Southland. I mean, I knew I was in Beverly Hills, but it felt different once you walk inside of Erewhon. Like, it felt confusing to the mind to be inside of a supermarket while on Rodeo Drive, if that makes any sense. Like, it felt like purgatory in a good way, like heaven purgatory, like if there was a cross between heaven and Beverly Hills. Not to steal something from our Cocteau twins, but it almost felt like there were no price tags listed. Like, there was an illusion in my mind that there were no price tags on the shelves because
I like that.
It would be ridiculous to do it. It's like if you put a price tag, like when you go to a restaurant, you get a toothpick when you leave. It would be like if that came at a cost, but the cost was so nominal, we won't even bother listing it. It almost felt like I could just fill my cart with whatever I want and walk out the door.
This sounds...
And a nice person wearing a Drew hoodie will say goodbye.
Is it the same? Shout out to Drew House and the whole clan over there. Crowd wise, is it?
It's a similar demographic, but it comes with that special brand of Beverly Hills douche that you can't get anywhere else. Just like a guy who has $3,700 in his bank account, but he's wearing a McLaren of Beverly Hills hat on an Acer laptop, and like
that is special.
We'll be wearing the Balenciaga green shoes from like 5 years ago, and he's still kind of keeping them clean vibe.
How would you rate the hot bar compared to the other locations?
The food tasted better in the hot bar, I will say that. But there were a few curveballs going on that were odd, like. One of the items was just a fully dressed hot dog. So you have the hot bar. It's like here.
Hold on.
You
hold on, bro.
So you go and like, here's our cold items. Your salads with kale and barley and avocado, and your Asian chicken salad, and all of those ones. Sesame noodles.
That's my section.
And then you go to the hot bar. Here's our keto pork crumbles.
Yeah.
Mac and cheeses. Eggplant parm, whatever. And then they had just in between, like the orange chicken and the whatever grilled something, was just fully dressed hot dogs covered in grilled onions, cheese, ketchup, mustard, sitting on a bed of vertically cut jalapenos lengthwise, and then shredded lettuce underneath it.
Bro, what the hell?
This hot dog has essentially been sitting here, maybe 4 hours.
Okay, that I don't know much.
I don't know who would ever buy a hot dog from Beverly Hills Erewhon.
I was going to say, well, look, I don't know anything about hot dogs, obviously, and I don't like them.
I think you can kind of do the math on what a hot dog is and does, though.
No, of course, but I'm saying my hot dog knowledge is not on your level. But when I'm talking about hot dogs, I thought part of the idea of the hot dog is that there's a lot of arguments around what is allowed to be on them condiment wise. You know, what is for the real heads in Chicago versus XYZ, whatever.
Exactly. And everyone is very particular about how they like their wiener dressed.
That's what I'm saying.
With or without, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that was a big factor that I took into account with this situation as well. You know, what if you want one of those dogs, but you're allergic to onions, tough titties. This would never happen at Costco, where they just hand you a rolled up piece of foil and you're on your own.
But that seems like the issue is that something like a hot dog and its accoutrement should not be available at a place like Erewhon because they clearly don't know how to do it.
It's like getting carne asada tacos at the Kentucky Derby. It's just like let's just not do this, guys.
What else was there was there other offending items, or was that the only thing that jumped out at you?
That was the biggest jump out. I mean, they had full cheeseburgers as well, just kind of sitting out, which I think I may have seen at Erewhon before. But I mean, the main things I noticed was the outdoor dining vibe there was much better than any other Erewhon, for sure, because it was like an indoor outdoor, like enclosed area. It wasn't just like right on the sidewalk. There was like some dividers going on, so you had some separation from the street, but you still but it was still on Rodeo Drive, so you get to, you know, your al fresco dining on Rodeo Drive for
$20
for pennies on the dollar compared to a normal meal.
Well, was there kind of a special area to hang your Astroworld hoodie, or is that something that you had to kind of hold on to while you ate? Was there like a coat closet?
I was looking around for one. There was a few teens around who had some J.W. Anderson dog kickers on, and they were looking around for the 100/Bape coat check, and I think they were confused as well. Maybe because it was a weekend, the guy was off or something.
This sounds, because I haven't been to that location yet, and I'm worried, Jason, that even though I'm only going to spend a few short days back in the motherland, that I'm going to OD on all my favorites. You know, because I'm so excited to hit Shintaro, to hit Erewhon. You know, I need this stuff to see Hunter. Like I feel like a little kid going into Toys R Us, and my parents said, "Pick out whatever you want."
So you're gonna see just how many spicy tuna crispy rices one person can consume.
Yeah, like I'm willing to. I'm going to be pushing myself to the damn limit. And I just can't wait. As I come to you from a quaint bed and breakfast in Delaware.
Hat in hand.
We don't have a car, so luckily I went and I played tennis this morning with Noah Johnson. It was really fun, actually. It's like beautiful fall, but he has a car here because he lives upstate and has a car, and him and his wife were like, "Yeah, we'll give you a ride back to the hotel." And I had to humbly ask him to stop at a gas station so I could get water because I'm stranded in the deep Delaware woods with no automobile. And it's just, that doesn't sit well with me. So basically what I'm saying to you is getting back to the X5 and a valet park at Erewhon is truly going to feel, I hope, like OxyContin. That's what I'm hoping for.
Closest thing too. So yeah, I mean, you've been on land, you've been edging your charmed life. You sort of seem like you're living on that wilderness show alone, where it's just you and a GoPro strapped to your head, and you're trying to figure out where to buy water in Delaware, just so you can survive through the night.
I mean,
you poor son of a bitch. And this sucks because you're at a who's who fashion wedding, but still you're finding a way to rough it Chris Black style. That's what we demand from you.
The wedding is a hoot. I have to say the guest list is, I mean, it's something else. And last night was in a barn, a beautiful barn. And it was, a lot of people went a little more, it said like casual, light cowboy theme.
Casual light cowboy theme. I'm sure Demna killed it.
And I was like, okay, but then Caitlin Phillips showed up in full, like denim regalia, looking great. Jake Gallagher had a denim shirt on with his Tom Brown suit. Other people were kind of, and I just had
shirt with a Tom Brown suit. Okay, Gallagher.
Shirt and tie. I just had a shirt and tie on, and I was feeling a little bit like Country Chris should have kind of stayed engaged. I didn't know he was going to be needed again.
So it sounds like there were this was giving a little more denim tuxedo than actual cowboy. I mean, I guess we are in Delaware after all, and not
but it was like on it was in a
Texarkana.
It was in a barn that was like attached to a beautiful like.
Yeah, but where's the barn? The barn's not in Arkansas,
No, that's true. That's true. But yeah, Rachel looked amazing. But yeah, it was there was a pulled pork, I think was the highlight of the meal that had been in a giant smoker outside. So I think that also led to kind of the theme. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the wedding's today on Sunday, so it's like I'm which I kind of like a little bit.
I think that's pretty normal-ish, right?
I feel like most weddings, it's like you get there on Friday, you do your thing. Saturday is the wedding. Sunday you have like a hungover brunch, and then you leave.
Lol. If you guys saw me last night on the dance floor, you didn't.
But yeah, I can give a full fashion report on the next episode. But Hari is here. She was wearing some not released Bathsheba, of course. With a beautiful, had like a tie thing on it. Sam McInnes is here. He was looking Connecticut prep as always. It's honestly been a great look fest. Willa Bennett was wearing a tie, and she did say that she wanted to confront me about hating women. And I said, I don't hate women. We just wanted to ask you questions about the fucking union, and you didn't like that, so fuck off. But I did tell her that we're going to give her 2 years, and then she's going to return for a battle royale with me and TJ, and she agreed to those terms, which is exciting.
Oh, great. I mean, as long as she's not working for a corporate overlord at that time, and has
that's
to keep
true.
her
That's true.
tongue tied.
And she had a lot of questions about my relationship with her dad, and like how I know him. I gave her those answers, and I think she was just kind of like, "Oh, you're just a lot older than I thought you were." It was kind of the vibe. I was getting, and I was like, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's kind of
rude.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of true. The reason I know your dad is I'm just a lot older than you thought I was." So a lot of ground was covered last night in that beautiful barn, and then there was a nice finisher. S'mores. Do it yourself.
That's the only time I like putting a marshmallow in my mouth. Normally, I don't love a marshmallow.
I don't either. Obviously, as a vegan, those I think that's horse bones, right?
Yeah, there's gelatin in there, and those were probably seized from those hooves in a very uncivilized manner.
Of course, but yeah, so I'm prepping. So today I played tennis. Now I'm podcasting, and then it's basically like got to put on my old Drake suit.
Then you're going to be on your little suit and tie shit.
Yeah, I'm going to be on my little suit and tie shit back out there on the Grizzly, while Jason has another beautiful day in California with no responsibilities.
I will be editing this episode all day.
Yeah, but I feel like
while you check out some Lukes. I'll be editing this podcast all day while you do some hashtag 35 millimetering, and then maybe having a glass of tea later.
I have the hashtag 120 with me as well. I'm deciding because the wedding's at 4, so it'll be daylight still. I'm wondering if I should bring out the 120 and really stunt on these hoes, but it's it doesn't really fit in my pocket.
No, it doesn't.
Which is unfortunate. But did you? So are you you're not forced to do some activities today? You're just going to have a TJ afternoon and then edit this podcast?
Oh no, I'll be doing some activities that I don't want to do. Probably. Don't worry.
Don't worry, Chris. It's a day that ends in a Y. All we do is activities we don't want to do. Don't fucking worry about that.
There'll be some chores and errands to be run that don't really involve me. But these are the things that we do for love.
Sure. Well, it's nice to have a driver, though.
I'm the driver.
I'm saying it's nice to be driven. Is kind of my point.
Yeah. That does sound nice. I mean, I hate being driven. I can't do it unless a badass is driving.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. You that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. You usually like to take the wheel, a real man in control type beat.
I'm a control freak. In the bedroom, in the driver's seat, what moves you?
Hashtag Virgo.
It's a Virgo thing. Y'all wouldn't get it.
Yeah. God damn it.
It's a Virgo thing. Y'all broke hoes wouldn't get it. Yeah. So, also really quick before I forget, for our live shows, we're going to be doing some giveaways from our friends over at Soft Services. We will have our buffing bar that we love so much, I believe, in a pumpkin spice flavor, which
new spice,
which should be out in
Hashtag
a few days.
New spice.
It's not out yet.
Yeah,
Heads ain't got these yet. But if you come to one of our shows, any one of our shows, LA and New York, you will have a very cool little gift bag with some products from them. So that's just a little added bonus value for you guys for free.
I'm getting ready for these motherfucking shows, Jason. I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm ready to touch the stage.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do these shows. I'm excited to work the cobwebs out on my new hour. I'm glad that our first show is at the Troubadour. It was crazy because I was driving past the Troubadour yesterday after I was leaving BH, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have our name. I mean, hopefully we're going to have our name on the classic Troubadour marquee sign, which is, it's a legendary thing.
Yeah, it is legendary. You know what else is legendary? Is these venues trying to get out of giving you water. You know what I mean? What the fuck? We're getting emails from these guys like, we can give you $100 and you can bring your own water, you know? And I'm just like, dude, I know touring's bad for people, but like the idea of showing up at a venue and having to bring your own water, which obviously I prefer because they're going to get the shitty brand anyway. I get it. But like,
well, we could use their water, but we would have to buy it from them and it would be Aquafina or whatever, you know?
I mean, I just, at a certain point, it's like, guys, like, what are we doing? We're not asking for fucking.
Am I playing a show at your venue or am I getting on a Southwest flight?
Yeah, like, do you also want me to do this for free and you guys just kind of keep all the money? Is that the vibe?
Oh, you guys wanted to park your car? Oh.
They're definitely going to try to charge us for parking, 100%. Oh, yeah, it's $10 each for parking. Yeah, no, oh, it's not a bus, it's just a car? No, I mean, I guess this is what we're at. I mean, all I hear about all day is how no one can go on tour. So I guess this is where we're at, like the reality of it. I mean, I saw somebody cancel a tour. Somebody sent me this, a DM, and it was like an artist I'd never heard of, and they were canceling their tour like, the spirits have told me I needed a break for a while, and that time has come. I have to cancel my North American. You know what I mean? And it's like you gotta lie. You gotta lie. I would rather you do the crybaby, like I can't make any money thing, or I'm dying of COVID, before I'd want you to say that like the nature told me it was time for me to kind of take it easy.
My shaman, I did an ayahuasca ceremony this weekend, and the spirits came to me and said, "Let's get Polestar on the horn."
We gotta call CAA because this thing ain't. We're calling it off.
Call Alan over at WME. We're gonna have to redo this thing.
I was reading something. So there's this trend I'm noticing, and I feel like I saw somebody write about it, but I can't remember who. Where there's like a lot of these newsletters that are quite popular that people even pay for, now post these links that are like 3 weeks old. And it's like, that's not really what, like, like the whole point of information is for it to be consumed quickly, kind of, to me. Like, this stuff is like, a lot of it's trend based. Like, I need to see it the day it comes out or the day after. If you show it to me 3 weeks later, I've either already seen it and I'm like, why the fuck would you send me this? Or I'm like, this is this is old news, whatever. But one of those newsletters I was reading this morning, the guy was basically saying that we should be embracing Halloween more than ever because it's a holiday that's celebrated outdoors where you wear masks. And that is what we should be doing right now because we're going to be seeing a COVID surge this fall for the holidays. So I think he's implying that basically don't go home for Thanksgiving because you have relatives that are older. Don't go home for Christmas. Just celebrate Halloween as an adult with a mask on outdoors while you get candy.
The same type of person who would write something like this is also the same type of person who is desperately trying to find any way or reason to justify being an adult trick-or-treater, is what it feels like to me.
That has to be.
It sounds like, because it's not like Halloween in general. He's only talking specifically about the act of trick-or-treating. When I DJ at the Soho House Halloween party, COVID will be spread.
Yes.
Like some Meredith dairy. It's a delicious goat's cheese. This sounds like this is just a pussy who wants to trick or treat.
No, I mean, I think so. I just am like, this is such a strange, because I'm getting like trending. I look at my trending topics on Twitter and it's the same. It's like, oh no. Oh, specialists are saying we're going to see a surge. It's winter. We're all going inside again. And it's like, what do we, yeah, bro, like whatever, dude. That doesn't, nothing, like whatever, truly whatever. Like that's, yes, we understand the facts of life. We understand that when winter comes, people get the flu. That's kind of what happens. But the thought of encouraging adults to participate in Halloween because it's a safe holiday, we all know that Halloween is one of the lowest ranking holidays. Mm-hmm. It goes Christmas, Thanksgiving, I would say July 4th above Halloween.
Yeah. Once you hit puberty, Halloween should pretty much mean nothing to you. Once you prioritize getting some dick or vagina over candy.
Well, I don't know if I'm there yet, but I know what you mean.
When you stop dreaming about almond joys and you start dreaming about some cool tits, that's when Halloween's done. You know?
But I just think that it's just like the idea of Halloween as a thing to participate in because it's safe is so deeply uncool that I couldn't believe that that was like a line of thinking.
I mean, going outside of the box, I applaud the imagination. I will say,
Yeah, no, it does take a lot of imagination, like a childlike wonder, much like Halloween. But I don't know if I don't know if anybody's going to subscribe to this or not. But the fear mongering has started again, so maybe adults are going to put on their little sexy masks and kind of hit the streets. Who knows?
I guess what's a popular mask? I mean, people don't even wear masks for Halloween anymore.
That's what I thought.
The last time I got terribly sick was from wearing a mask during Halloween.
And I bet it was it an N95? I didn't want to ask, but it seems like it might have been.
It was far from an N95. It was like, like when you go to Party City and you get one of those rubber masks with eye holes and a mouth hole. All you do is just sweat like a bastard in there. And I literally, at the last time I wore one of those masks, I got sick. I could feel myself getting a cold over the course of 15 minutes. I was like, well, I'm sick now. That's it.
I mean, it's a terrible holiday, and we need to get rid of it. And anything that encourages it is bad, is my thing. And there's a new Rob Zombie movie, I guess, that's very scary. I keep seeing some things about as well. And if you see that and you're over the age of 21, that's also some priorities need to be rethought, I believe.
Look,
Jason.
if Dragula comes on the radio, I won't turn the dial, but
okay,
we don't need to make it a lifestyle, guys.
Okay, good to know. Oh, I mean, I didn't think kids were allowed to trick or treat anymore because it's like they might get shot or fentanyl in their Skittles.
Yeah, I think most trick or treating is definitely being frowned upon. I think our nation's leaders would like it more, and it would be a better idea if they just kind of did that at the mall.
Yeah.
Any place, any safe Caruso property. It's just better to do that. And now trick or treating happens at like 3:15 p.m. If I ever had a kid, I wouldn't want them to go outside. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, that's the problem. Yeah, you're definitely a helicopter parent waiting to happen. Definitely, you're part of the problem as always, Jason.
But I make it look good.
But I do think Halloween. It feels like I've seen, because this guy says this too, but I see it too. The amount of decorations through the roof. More decorations I've ever seen on houses in my entire adult life.
Since we're all like, nobody does anything anymore, and nobody goes out and socializes, and nobody goes to like a Halloween party because everyone is either Netflix pilled or afraid of getting COVID, or you just forgot to socialize and go out anymore. You just dump all of your, expendable income into buying giant skeletons at Home Depot.
I can't wait
and decorating your lawn.
I can't wait to spend a cool $150 on a fucking 3-story minion that I can blow up that's wearing a fucking jack-o'-lantern costume. I just don't. I mean, I guess kids like that. I guess if you're a parent, you have to do that.
Well, that's the problem, is none of it is for kids anymore. All the houses in my neighborhood, it's all adults doing it for adults, and it's all like
competitive.
I'm 45 years old, but I'm still like really into Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's kind of like what I got holding on to. Like how we hold on to hardcore music still. Like they do that with cartoon from kids.
We all choose trash to hang on to. I would rather hang on to hardcore. Obviously, we deem that cooler, but I guess Halloween to some is cooler.
The only thing that we do for fun, it's like, hey, what do you guys want to do today? Like, let's go to store and buy a skull thingy.
Let's go to store. And that's another thing I wanted to point out. If you plan to wear a costume to How Long Gone Live on October the 28th, you will be refused entry. And there are no refunds at the door. So just go ahead and take that into consideration now when you're planning.
Don't say we didn't warn you.
Planning your outfit. If you think you're gonna be slick and come in as, fucking a skeleton or, Ira Glass or whatever, you will be turned away.
Ira Glass. Unfortunately, I will probably be dressed like Ira Glass. Last night I was talking to my fiance, and she asked me like, hey, like how does someone, or why does somebody get shadow banned on Instagram? And I was like, oh, that's like, I mean, I kind of know, but
yeah.
And then I was thinking about like, as our lives become more and more involved on social media, is what exactly would be the difference between shadow banning someone and shadow canceling somebody in real life?
I don't understand shadow banning.
And or have we been shadow canceled ever?
No. I think it just means like if you don't like something, you stop participating in it. I think shadow banning, the idea or the way people think about it is that a giant corporate overlord has decided that your content is either not performing or doesn't fall into their, categorization, or you've been reported or whatever. That's what I think that actually, like, if you're Kanye West and you've posted too many things that are offensive, they'll probably shadow ban you first so less people see it, and then eventually just get rid of you completely because it's too much.
But you're close, so we're just gonna partially do it and give you a little warning, slap on the wrist.
Well, but I don't think. But the thing is, you don't know if you're shadow. They don't tell you that.
Sure.
You start seeing a steep decline in interaction,
which kind of has like psychological implications. Like, could that end up being more damaging to you? We're not going to say anything, but you just start noticing things. You get paranoid. You get in your head. It might drive you insane, depending on how many followers you have.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I think it's like, look, you either get on Reels or you don't, bro. And if you don't get on Reels, we're putting you in jail. That's what they said. And they walked it back since then. But I think that there were some casualties in the Reels war of 2022.
God, I'm so glad I haven't done it. Wait, maybe I probably have done a Reel. God damn it.
You've done a Reel. You didn't watch Kanye on Drink Champs, did you?
But I did see a little highlight.
It's so lit that Drink Champs has to like have a disclaimer now. Like, the primary purpose of Drink Champs podcast is to provide a platform for creatives to express their personal views or opinions without restriction or censorship.
That's what it says.
Yeah, that's what it says, because he just says
they even got Drink Champs.
They even got a Drink Champs. So he says all of his wild dumb shit, but it's actually getting bad, but the only cool thing is that he did say that Drake had sex with Kris Jenner, which is something that I've been trying to believe for years. And even though Kanye is maybe not the best source right now, I'm going to choose to believe him and continue to ignore him moving forward, because I don't agree with him, nor do I care about his music.
Gotta believe.
I did want to pull that little nice tidbit out because I thought that was a fun thing to learn about.
Obviously, you wanted to believe that. Obviously, everybody wants to believe that, because Drake really has that type of energy of guy who wants to have sex with a 68-year-old woman.
He's also said things like, I see Kris Jenner, I beep twice and I wave. He's alluding to the fact that we are neighbors, and I could get over there very easily. On a late night tip.
He is alluding to a late night tip. What did Kanye say? Because he deleted a thing that said, like, Drake is like a true warrior at battle. He's having sex with your baby's mama's mama.
Yeah, that's what he said. And then they asked him about it, and they're like, "What did you mean by that?" And he just goes, "Come on, bro, you know what I meant by that," and like smiles. But I think but I want to know more about this Tremendez merch, because he's named Tremaine Tremendez, but he's worn 2 different hand-drawn Tremendez shirts in the last couple days. And it's just like, bro, that means that he has a staff member and he's like, hey, come up with some Tremaine cartoons and draw them on t-shirts so I can wear them in public. That is so
There's
crazy.
some 23-year-old guy who went to Parsons or RISD, and his job is like, hey, hey, bro, Tyler, do you have crayons? All right, let's get a couple Gildans. I'm going to put you to work. And he's like, yay. So I'm not going to be working at Balenciaga? No. We need you to draw.
So do you think in 5 years somebody's going to be, working at Nike and get a portfolio, and there's going to be tremendous crayon drawings in the portfolio from his time at Yeezy Enterprises?
Like when you post on your LinkedIn that you did a really good Instagram caption that one time?
Yeah, I saw that on LinkedIn. Somebody was like, I wrote this caption that received this much engagement. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I mean, I guess if that's your job, you should be proud of it, and I'm sure that would help you get a new job. I just seemed insane to read to me.
I would love to be Kanye's assistant, and Sunday you're with the family and you're like, hey, I hate to ping you on a weekend, Kanye. I know you're involved in a bitter custody struggle with someone named Northie, but wanted to triple check the spelling on Tremendez. Is that with a O-U-Z, or are you doing an A-E?
I don't even know. Yeah, but so if it comes out, if a third Tremendez shirt makes an appearance in the press, I'm calling that they'll be for sale soon.
Tremaine, a friend of the show. Kanye, not a friend of the show. Just something about naming somebody tremendous. Just the word tremendous as a derogatory word, it's so powerful.
It's so fucking funny. It's so funny, but it's also like, what is the beat, like what must be going on behind the scenes?
I know what's going on behind the scenes. A bunch of people are doing some weird shit in order to make even more money.
No, of course I agree with that, but I'm saying like the idea of me not liking someone so much that I'm like, hey Jason, open Photoshop, we're making some merch. And me being like famous enough to know that if I wear this, millions of people will see it. And I don't know if it's ruining. I think Tremaine's doing pretty well for himself. I'm sure it's annoying more than anything else, but I don't think it's causing actual harm to his wallet. You know what I mean?
Tremaine's doing just fine.
The way that people will follow Kanye West into the fire is something like I've never seen before. Like the shit that he's saying now is truly like no one who agrees with this. Like this is just too. I mean, people that agree with it are like actually people that are problematic. Like who truly hates Jews and thinks slavery was a choice and thought that George Floyd was on fentanyl. Like it's so insane. But there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of fucking definitely white boys that will follow him into the fire. And it's just like, what do we like? How did this guy who makes music become your savior? Is truly baffling to me.
I can kind of understand a little bit of how it gets there because the parts about Kanye that I've always liked, which are like he wants to sort of watch the world burn. He has some anarchist tendencies inside of him, and he has a lot of power, and he does interesting, different, sometimes funny, sometimes terrible things with that power, but it's been entertaining to watch somebody operate in their own lane in a world where nobody else does that. I feel, I don't feel like he's an actual individual who's, trying to help the world. I think that he is probably an evil person at this point now, but it was fun to watch until 2 weeks ago.
But I like Van Morrison. I'm a big Van Morrison guy. Van Morrison is like gone off the deep end. What if I was just like, no. Van Morrison said COVID isn't real. I'm standing with Van on this. You would be like, you're fucking insane, dude, because Van Morrison doesn't make like streetwear. So it's like not as relevant. It's like so insane. I mean, obviously his fan base is older or whatever, but like the idea that there are people that will like defend this and like follow him wherever he goes is like a real testament to the dark power of celebrity in the world that we live in today.
Well, I think the amount of people that are willing to follow him wherever he goes has greatly reduced in the last few weeks and is only going downhill. I don't know if he's ever going to really have a redemption moment. Like, when he was saying like, oh, I'm going to run for president, like, I don't even think he managed to get enough votes to get on the ballot or whatever, just like forgot or something like that. Like, I don't really see a situation where he actually runs for president and wins in our lifetime, unless
I agree.
The world becomes such an evil, dark place. That
but I was talking about this morning
matter.
with Noah. It's like this is where because we're in Pennsylvania, and it's like Dr. Oz is running for Senate. In Georgia, you've got Herschel Walker who is running for Senate. He literally is a Heisman Trophy winning college football player. He didn't even really play in the pros. Like he didn't have some big career. He's running for, you know what I mean? It's like, so this is, we're moving in that direction where that is who is going.
Would have rather had OJ.
Who's going to lead this country. You know what I mean?
Bro, Idiocracy, that movie was, it was actually like a documentary, if you ask me. What I'm hoping for and holding out for, which is a very small chance of actually happening, is that Kanye is doing an Andy Kaufman-esque performance art.
You wish.
On a grand scale, the likes of which we have never seen in my entire life. That's what I'm hoping for and holding out for.
He's doing a bottle of Hennessy and a couple bumps is what he's doing. But that is, which Andy Kaufman was also doing, but he was doing something different with the energy that creates. All right. Well, look, how long gone? Another blessed podcast in the can, coming to you live from Delaware. Congratulations to Rachel and Lloyd. I can't wait to celebrate you tonight. Congratulations to DJ Them Jeans for getting all of his chores done this weekend. We will see you at the Troubadour.
I do it all by myself.
There's still a few tickets left for the show with John Early at the Lodge Room in Highland Park. After party with our man Fred at Burger Lords with music by DJ Them Jeans, as well as some past hors d'oeuvres, vegan of course.
And also shout out to Lo-Fi Aperitifs.
Let's go.
We're gonna have some canned spritzes, complimentary as well at the Burger Lords thing. Probably just one. Make sure we buy some affordable bottles as well. Come out and smoke some cigs with us.
Yeah, and that's.
Let's have some
I think
fun.
that's.
Have some
I think
fun.
that's it. We're back with some guests, more hijinks, and
Yeah, I think we got Chapo back on the pod now.
yeah, Chapo's coming on as planned, and we have another guest. Let me just look quickly at the calendar, Jason. I just want to see. I'm not going to give anything away, but I just like to know.
Just to
kinda
see,
what's
just to
coming up.
know. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, a musician we're both quite into that I believe you might even know on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it. How Long Gone? Lots of news, lots of merch, lots of shows, lots of podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we do, in and out every week. Pause. Jason, I will. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for doing this podcast with me. It means a lot.
You got it, brother. Oh, wow. Have a great wedding. Send over some looks, please. Thank you. I need a mirror selfie.
Okay.